Hi guys! If you're looking to see what's on my September tray, then stay tuned. Hi, my name is Mika, and here on my channel I do fragrance reviews. Today I wanted to share with you what's on my September fragrance tray. I believe I have 11 here that I'd like to share with you. And without further ado, let's go on and get started. So the first one here is Sintra by Memo Paris. And the main accords for Sintra is a sweet white floral, citrus, slightly powdery lactonic vanilla. I smell the neroli and the petitgrain, and one of my favorite notes, which is orange blossom. I think that Sintra has great longevity. The orange blossom is prevalent, very prominent to my nose. A lot of people compare this to Love Don't Be Shy, which I do agree it has some similarities of Love Don't Be Shy without all the sweetness. So Love Don't Be Shy, if you thought was very sweet to your nose, you may want to try Sintra. Just be mindful of the petitgrain note, which gives it that green note, if you're considering a greener version of Love Don't Be Shy. Next is Santal Basmati. So this one here is by Affinessence. And the accords for Santal Basmati is, it's a woody, powdery, warm, spicy iris musk fragrance. I get the milkiness from the sandalwood, and it has a note of basmati rice. And it also has cashmere, iris, and patchouli. Now, don't let this patchouli scare you. I'm not a big fan of, really patchouli prominent fragrances. But here, I think that the patchouli balances this fragrance out so well. To me, it's buttery and warm. It's a gorgeous scent, especially for now, where we're still kind of warm, but going into our cooler weather. I do think that the longevity could be better. I get about 4 to 5 hours of this, and it's also, I would say it performs longer or better in the cooler, not cold season, but the fall and autumn season. It's subtle and sophisticated. I do think that someone has to be in your scent bubble in order to, really smell this on you. And that's why I think it's great for the office. And the other thing I wanted to say is that this rice note to me is so realistic. It's like cooking some rice, and as soon as the rice is done, you open the top to the pot, and that fragrance from the rice comes to your nose, and that's the aromatic that I get when I smell Santal Basmati. Next is Dom Rosa, and this is by Liquides, Imaginaires. The main accords for this would be woodsy, citrusy. I think of it like a rose water, champagne fragrance. It does have some aldehydes, and it's not the aldehydes that you think of like the Chanel aldehydes, but this one here is a well blended, nice aldehyde with sweet, aromatic, fruity, fresh spiciness. The nose behind this is Sonia Constant, which is a perfumer that I love, love, love. Just to give you an idea of some of the work that she's done, she did Jean Paul Gaultier, La Belle, She also has done some favorites that I like with Loewe. She did Musk Noir Rose as well as Rouge by Narciso Rodriguez. And she also did Noir Parfum by Tom Ford. I really hate that they discontinued that fragrance. And another one that I love, she did Dancing Roses by Viktor and Rolf. So here with Dom Rosa, it's a citrusy, sparkling, uplifting rose. That champagne note is what gives it the sparklingness. This fragrance is so easy to wear, but it is very different. I can't think of anything in my collection that smells like this, but it's still very elegant. It works better for me in the fall, and that's where I really see this performance and this fragrance shine. It's that woodsiness that gives it the unisex vibe. So this is definitely a unisex fragrance, even though it has the champagne and the rose. I still think that this would smell so well on a man. Next is Sakura by Ormande Jayne. And Sakura is a floral, woodsy, powdery. It's green and fruity all at the same time. The opening has a sparkling note of lime and mandarin orange, and you get that blast of the citrus right off top. But then it has this beautiful cherry blossom with almond nuances that I really appreciate. The dry down is woodsy from the cedar and the sandalwood, but it's not too woodsy. It's like a great blend of floral and woodsy all at the same time. It's not sweet, and I don't want you to think that it's like a dainty cherry blossom fragrance. You know, what comes to mind when most people think of cherry blossom is something that you get from Bath and Body Works, where you get that sweet cherry note. It's nothing like that. Although it does have that cherry blossom, it's just not as juvenile as something that you would get from a Bath and Body Works. But it is a true cherry blossom. I do think that the florals and the woodsy elements, they do play well together. And again, this is something that is very different. I have never smelled this type of fragrance before. Not in my collection, nor have I smelled it on anyone else. I think that it's sultry. It's good for all year round, but I think it's even better in the early or mid autumn, fall. And the pink pepper is where you want to be careful. That's why I do think you might want to try this before you buy it. The pink pepper is something that comes in the dry down, and it can catch you off guard if you're not expecting it, especially if you think that it's a sweet cherry blossom fragrance, and that's all it is. The next one is Beige, and this is by Chanel. So Beige Eau de Parfum. The main accords are floral, honey, tropical, and sweet. This to me is a sensual fragrance where you get the freesia and the frangipani. I do think that this was Chanel's play on a tropical fragrance. It's really elegant. I think it's feminine, but I do see how this will also wear on a man. But you can do you. Anybody can wear it. I think that it has feminine nuances. It can be worn every day, and it's to me is very classy. I like to wear this in the spring, and you can wear it all year round, but I think that in the spring it really does well because it just gets eaten up by the heat in the summertime. But I do like it now that my bottle has macerated, and I don't have to wear too much of the Parfum. I normally wear this with it just to have that staying power. And now that the juice has macerated, I really don't have to wear this with the perfume. I do think that it is a beautiful fragrance. It's one of my all-time favorites. And I'm not a big fan of honey. Sometimes honey can give me a headache because it's just too much. But I think that the honey in here balances very well with the floral freshness and the creamy and well-roundedness of all of everything blended together. So again, I think that this can be worn all year round, but it shines specifically in the spring and fall. Next is Sweet Morphine by Ex Nihilo. And the main accords for Sweet Morphine is powdery, floral, iris, vanilla, earthy, yellow florals. It also has a woodsy and a green and sweet effect. When I say green, it's not too green, but you can tell that it has that freshness. It's very luxurious, and to me, it's also creamy. It has a dominant note of Mimosa Absolute. In the dry down, it does become a little powdery, but not too much. It's just right. And I think that the powdery is balanced well with the florals. It performs best in cooler weather, but you can wear this all year round. It really reminds me of a high-end soap that you get from one of those fancy hotels, but it's still gorgeous regardless if it smells like a soap or not. I really like Sweet Morphine. Next is Tom Ford's White Suede. And White Suede is one of those go-to fragrances for me when I just don't want to put too much thought into it. The main accords is musky, powdery, leather, warm spice, white floral, amber, woody, fresh, aromatic, and green fragrance. It has a blend of rose, saffron, olibanum, lily of the valley, amber, suede, and sandalwood. And from my previous videos, I've told you I'm not a real big fan of leather, but this is a suede note, and it just smells like the inside of a handbag to me. A nice, luxurious leather handbag. Like when you open it up, you unzip it and you open it up, and the smell from that leather, that is what it smells like to me. I think it's classy and casual all at the same time. And again, it's just that minimalistic fragrance that I can wear with jeans, t-shirt, suit, jacket. It's just a pretty soft musk, and it's airy and light. I do detect a little smokiness in the dry down, but it's not that prevalent, but it's something to be appreciated. A lot of people say it's like your skin but better, and I do agree with that. It's something that I also like to wear to bed because it's not overpowering and just very casual. Another one is one of my favorites. I don't have too many celebrity fragrances, but this here is Cloud by Ariana Grande. And I think that Cloud is, I don't want to say dupe for Baccarat 540, but it has a lot of similarities. The accords are sweet, lactonic, vanilla, coconut, and musk fragrance. It's creamy, it's soft, it's warm, very comforting, just like Baccarat 540, but just more affordable than Baccarat 540. And it's also crowd pleasing. I can smell Cloud, whereas I get agnostic to Baccarat 540, and it's just enjoyable when you can actually smell the fragrance. I love the whipped cream note. It's not overly gourmand, so it's just right. The sweetness is just right. And you can wear this any time of the year. It's perfect anytime. But I enjoy wearing it for fall and winter. Next is Orchidée Rouge. Let's turn it around. By Dora. And the main accords for Orchidée Rouge is vanilla, sweet almond, powdery, warm spicy, caramel, balsamic, citrus, aromatic, and it also has rum notes. It's slightly powdery. I do get the cinnamon and the resins and the vanilla and almond. I also smell the caramel. I don't get too much of the rum. I do think that it projects more after it warms up on the skin. It's not beast mode like Mandorle, but I do get the longevity and the sillage, but it's just not a beast mode like what you would normally think from their other fragrance, Mandorle. I think it's perfect for fall and date nights, especially if you're going out at night where it's still kind of warm but a little cool in the air, enough for a jacket, like a leather jacket. Altogether, I think this is a very beautiful fragrance. If I'm comparing it to Mandorle, I do like Mandorle better, but this is a great alternative for, I would say, late spring, summer, or even, you know, going into early fall. And last but not least is Patiala. This is by Thameen. And this is a new acquisition to my fragrance collection. Main accords are rose, citrus, aldehydes, fresh, mossy, amber, musk. It has the white florals. It's also a little powdery. The aldehydes are not like your Chanel aldehydes. This is a more modern type of aldehyde. And you can smell the citrus and the rose. You get that citrus blast upon first spray. And then you get the oak moss and the muskiness. It opens bright with that citrus, which I enjoy. But then again, that dry down, it comes out to play and you just be like, oh my gosh, what is that? I do think that it's light on the florals. It's not very florally, but it's supported by the amber richness, and the musk gives it this sensuous element. And I think it smells clean. It makes me feel like refreshed when I put this on. This would have been really great for early spring had I had added it to my collection then. So I definitely will be enjoying it next spring. But to me, it's an all year round, but I think it will shine even more in the spring. So that's it. That's my September lineup. I really appreciate you guys stopping by. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like and subscribe and comment. Let me know what are some of your September fragrances. Do I have any that are on your tray for September? Thank you for dropping by, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.